welcome to Resilient Voices 10-minute stories of new found heroes. My name is Brenda Dempsey and I'm the CEO of Brilliance Publishing. And today we've got an amazing man with us who is a co-author in Resilient Voices, and his name is Dexter Moscow. Hi, Dexter.
Hi, Brenda. Lovely to be here with you.
Thank you very much. So, Dexter, you've got 1 minute to tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Right. As you heard, the name is Dexter Moscow, and it is my real name, not a stage name. Although for many years I did work in television for QVC, the shopping channel, and I'm a sales coach and also a video creation expert and help people produce videos and talk through videos through this new environment that we've got, the television screen or the computer monitor.
And I think we're sitting down and Zooming today rather than standing up and sell the name of one of your books.
Yes, indeed.
So, we're here to talk about resilience today. And the first question I want to ask, if you could share with the people watching, is this: why did you say yes to being in Resilient Voices?
I said yes because I've been through experiences where it is tough. And I've had to pick myself up and dust myself off and start, as the song says, and start all over again. And so I thought that there are a couple of stories I can tell that hopefully will help people who are going through some difficult times.
Mm, yes, and we have been going through difficult times because Resilient Voices, and we're going to get into that in a moment, is all about the last, well, it's nearly 15 months now. But before we do that, we need to kind of know who you are, about the mindset and spirit. So can you tell us a time in your life where you had to, as I say, bounce back, that showed great resilience?
Well, you know that it is part of the book that we're publishing very shortly called A Voyage Without My Father, the loss of my dad when I was very young, and the impact that had on me throughout my life. So that was one where I really didn't understand resilience until much later. But to give you a business resilience element is that when I worked for an advertising company, and I loved working at advertising, I was made redundant at Christmas time. And it was the most devastating thing I experienced. Where would I get money to buy Christmas presents? And so I just found ways of speaking to people and doing what was necessary to get another job. And that, so I had to be really resilient there. And what's happened in later life is I understand that every situation that we encounter is a gift. And it is about understanding how we bounce back and how quick we bounce back. So that's an insight into some difficult career choices I had to make.
So how did that shape your mindset, and how did it shape you as a man and the type of spirit that you have when you're faced with challenges?
I think that, you know, when you lose a parent at a very early age, you can go in two different directions. You can either say, poor me, and just, you know, let the world crowd in on you, or you can say, I've got to do something about this. I've got to search and find ways of getting through this, either through therapy, which is one way of doing it, or to find mentors. And to recognize when those mentors come into your life. And so often, and you know, this is a reality for me, I didn't trust men because my dad had left me. So how could I trust anybody that they wouldn't leave me? And so at a very early age, within, I suppose in my early 40s, I was taken aside by somebody when I was in advertising who said, Dex, you have a choice. You can either be the rebel that you are now, or you can knuckle down and do something. And I recognize how important that person was in my life, Norman Bond, and others who came on the scene. So one of the things I would talk about in resilience, surround yourself with people that can help you and listen to them and recognize when they are there prepared to help you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is, that is so true, and powerful. And it's surround yourself, as you say, it's with the right people, because some people that we surround ourselves might keep us in that place where we're trying to escape from. So this is about resilience, because, we're living through still a pandemic, but it was so alien for many, many people because we went into lockdown. We couldn't go out our house, we couldn't do anything. So with that in mind, so think back 12 months ago, what was the biggest challenge you faced as part of being in lockdown, Dexter?
I think one of the greatest challenge was, and people talk about pivoting, and what does actual pivoting mean? And for me, it isn't necessarily about following the same path or finding something different. It's about recognizing what your skills are and seeing how you can develop it in a different direction. Now, for me as a coach and as a presenter and speaker, I love having an audience in front of me. Certainly when my career with QVC, the shopping channel, I was speaking to an invisible audience, so I had to be able to engage with them. And that learning really stood me in good stead, having not to be able to stand in front of a group of people and persuade them and sell to them in that environment. So I very quickly embraced the concept of Zoom and how we need to understand who we're talking to and how we're talking to them, and how to make that, we've talked about this before, this emotional connection, because that's how we connect with people first of all. Then we can talk about the business and how we can help them. So my greatest challenge was thinking, how could I do what I do, but through a monitor, through the Zoom facility or the other facilities like that. So that was a big learning for me, and it's evolved very well, because that's what I help people do now. And until such time as we are released from lockdown, and I believe what a lot of people are saying, that there is going to be a hybrid version. We won't necessarily all suddenly meet people physically. There will be a mix of this way of communicating and a physical contact. So that was the greatest learning for me.
Mm. And I think you're right. Having had all those 20 odd years experience at QVC has really, I think, been you could go back and rely on that experience and then face that challenge, because you had the resilience of having to, what you'd learned through that, and the gift, as you keep saying, that we receive. And it's true, from adversity we want to find the gift.
Mm.
So moving forward, how are you going to use your resilience to help you get out of this lockdown and get back to normality? Because I think that's a challenge.
It is a challenge, and I must tell you, I balk about the phrase "the new normal," because actually, nothing is new. Because even with Zoom, it's developed, but that's not new. It's been around for a number of years, and it ain't going to be normal. I prefer to use the phrase "the new reality." So I think once that there is a high level of acceptance that we're going to have to find different ways of communicating, of getting our message across, that for me is the key to resilience, to understand what are the new opportunities, what skills we need to gain, and without breaking a confidence. I was speaking recently to somebody who is going to do an interview, and it's going to be a Zoom interview. When we normally we're in a job situation, we're meeting people face to face. So it needs to be a different approach. So resilience is not about changing who we are, but it is about adapting and accepting it, that word again, as a gift. That as long as we are open, and there's a phrase, our minds are like parachutes. They only work when they're open. So be open-minded.
Oh, I love that. Love it. My goodness, I'm feeling as if that's the first time I've heard that. That is really good. It reminds like a parachute, they only work when they open. I really like that. I might use that sometime, Dexter. I will give you
Pleasure.
credit, of course, as I always do. So, Dexter, just lastly, if you had to um, define resilience, what would you say it is?
Resilience is the ability, and you use the phrase, to bounce back as quickly as possible and to see every opportunity as a gift. Know what your skills are, know what skills you need to gain, and surround yourself with like-minded people that will help you move forward. That's my mantra.
Dexter, thank you very much. Thank you for saying yes, and thank you for being a newfound hero in Resilient Voices.
Thank you, Deborah. Deborah, Brenda.
So until the next time, everybody, be
God
brilliant.
bless.
Much love and to the pit.